Hello and welcome back to another Premier League prediction show. We're up to game week 36 now, and it looks like it's a two-horse race between Arsenal and Manchester City for the title, as Liverpool have really shot themselves in the foot. The bottom end, Sheffield United, are going down. It's either going to be between Luton, Nottingham Forest and Burnley in a bit of a dogfight. In terms of predictions, last week's top scorer in the Superbru League was the Hewer, and the Hewer came away with 15.5 points and 4 perfect scores. But incidentally, there is still one match to be played out, and that's between Chelsea and Spurs on Thursday evening. Time recording is Wednesday. But without further ado, let's just get straight into it.
So starting off Friday night on Sky, Luton Town against Everton. Now Luton have had a massive blow with Everton confirming their Premier League survival. 3 wins on the bounce, bish bash bosh, and are in poor form as well. Everton mathematically safe, so we could see them on the beach, and in fact I don't actually know which Everton we're going to see. I mean, their results have been, 3 home matches in a row. 3 home matches win on the bounce, including that Merseyside derby, so I'm going to sit on the fence just because Luton desperately need this now, so 1-1.
Yeah, Everton have been phenomenal at home. I think it's 4 wins on the bounce now, and they haven't actually conceded in that run as well. Luton, just 1 win in their last 6, 4 more all over the place, conceding goals. Everton are there, aren't they? Yeah. Another season in the Premier League, even without the points deductions, etc. And away from home, okay, I don't think Everton have actually won this calendar year away from home, but I think this will be their first victory. And I'm going to go for a 2-1 away victory to the Toffees. Next up, we've got the first of the Saturday kickoffs, which is at 12:30 in the UK, live on TNT. We've got Arsenal against Bournemouth. Arsenal, as we said a little bit earlier, in a 2-horse race for the title. They're currently top of the table. Had a good win against Spurs, although Spurs sort of came back in that match to make it a little bit juddery for the Gunners. Prior to that match, they had 4 clean sheets in their last 5 as well. So, and I think at home, I think they'll keep a clean sheet against Bournemouth. But Bournemouth have done really well recently, currently in 10th position mid-table. But I think Arsenal going for the title, aren't they? 3-0.
Yeah, Arsenal gunning for the title. Look at the position they're in as well. Man City doing what Man City always do best. They do have that game in hand, so pretty much they have to win every single game towards the end of this season now, so they're easily going to do that 2-0. Moving on to the 3 o'clock, starting off with Brentford up against Fulham. Brentford also mathematically safe now, even though they did lose last time around against Everton. Now, I don't know whether that's because they're on the beach or anything like that, but at the end of the day, well, they've secured survival, haven't they? Now, Fulham also in patchy form, another team that seem on the beach experimenting, etc., but they have had some really difficult fixtures, to be fair to them. For that reason, I don't know why I'm going to give it to Brentford, just narrowly at home, and the team that's a little bit in better form and needs to bounce back more, so let's go 2-1.
Yeah, this could go either way. A Brentford win at home, Fulham away. I'm going to sit on the fence. I am going to go for a draw. Fulham did carve out that excellent home draw against Crystal Palace, because Crystal Palace have been in decent form themselves of late. So yeah, I'm going to have to go for a draw in this fixture. Then we've got Burnley coming up against Newcastle. This is an absolutely massive match for Burnley. They've been doing really well recently, although most of those matches have ended up in a draw. It was a draw away against Manchester United in the last fixture. I actually correctly predicted that scoreline, and prior to that, it was their first victory in a while against Sheffield United. So a tough one to call, coming up against a Newcastle side who are sort of trying to get into those Champions League spots. I think it's just going to be a little bit out of their reach, but they do want to get European football again up there at St James's Park. So Isaac scores in for fun. Wilson's coming back as well from injury. So I'm going to go for a 3-1 away win to the Magpies.
Yeah, it looks like for me Newcastle are going to be guaranteed some sort of European football next season. I can't see West Ham with their form jumping into it, and whether it's Conference League or Europa League, we'll just have to wait and see for now. But when we're looking at Burnley at the other end of the table, looking at the points, really they can't afford to draw any games. Ideally, they need at least 2 wins from their last 3 to close the gap on Forest, and it's also going to rely on Forest not winning games either, and also Luton for that matter as well. So it's really about 60% out of their hands, you could say. But Newcastle, with the form they're in and the fact they're chasing Europe, I think Newcastle is just going to run away with it 4-0. Anyway, next up we've got doomed Sheffield United coming up against Nottingham Forest. Now, Nottingham Forest, this is a massive game for them. If they get a victory here, and realistically this is an amazing time to play them as well, then pretty much one, maybe two draws will pretty much keep them in the Premier League for next season. Sheffield United looks like they're going to go down as one of the worst Premier League teams of all time, obviously since '92. Whatever you determine is absolutely terrible, but yeah, this is Forest's game, so let's go 2-0 Forest.
Yeah, I think Forest will win this one. I'm going to go for a 2-1 away victory. Sheffield United, dead and buried, so they could be relaxed when they're playing, but I know that they have got quite a big injury list. Nottingham Forest, this is a game that you have to target to get all 3 points, really. They're playing the worst team in the league. They need to keep their heads above Luton and Burnley to stay in for another Premier League season next year, and I think they will. I think they're going to come away with this 2-1 win. Next up, we've got Manchester City coming up against Wolverhampton Wanderers. This is the 5:30 kickoff live on Sky. Manchester injury worries in goals with Ederson. Looks like he's going to be out again with a shoulder injury. Haaland came back last weekend to score in that 2-0 victory away against Nottingham Forest. Just 1 point behind Arsenal as well, but they do have that game in hand. For me, I think it's going to be a carbon copy of the score that they had last week against Forest. I'm going to go for a 2-0 home victory against Wolves. And Wolves themselves haven't been doing too badly. It was a good win against Luton last time out.
Yeah, it was, especially with that poor run of form that they're on, but they're pretty much safe in the Premier League anyway at the end of the day. But Man City, form they're in, you know what it's going to be, so 3-1. I do think Wolves will nick a goal though,
and they're
they
not
do
in
Champions here and there.
Yeah, they're not in Champions League action either, are they, Man City? So
no, exactly. Only team left in Europe now, I believe, is Villa. So that's going to be interesting. Anyway, moving on aside from that, Brighton up against Aston Villa. Speaking about Aston Villa, only a couple more points needed. Realistically, another win and they're in the Champions League next season, and that's going to come against Brighton, who not going to be in Europe next season. Poor form. Yeah, 2-0 Villa.
Yeah, Brighton, they've fallen off a bit of a cliff, haven't they? Their home form has been pretty good, but looking at their results recently have been terrible.
But some tough fixtures,
Aston Villa, currently in 4th position, still need probably another win to cement themselves in those in that final Champions League spot for next season. Although Tottenham probably have a say in that, especially against Chelsea on a Thursday evening. I think going forward, Aston Villa got too much for this Brighton defence. I think they're going to come away with a 2-0 win, and Brighton themselves still got a lot of injuries there. Next up, we've got Chelsea coming up against West Ham. Yeah. All at London affair. This takes place also at 2 o'clock on Sunday. Chelsea themselves got a lot of defensive injuries. West Ham, you don't know what's going to turn up. Gained a creditable draw against Liverpool. Last time out, could have won that match as well. And prior to that was heavy defeats against the likes of Palace and Fulham. So in this one, I'm going to go for a Chelsea win. I think they've just got a little bit too much panache, especially with Palmer going forward. So I'm going for a 3-1 home win.
Yeah, even with the likes of Cole Palmer up front, they are pretty much Cole Palmer FC at the moment, aren't they? I still can't see Chelsea winning this one.
No.
West Ham, they just like to surprise you, don't they? So I'm just going to go for the most random victory of the weekend. West Ham 1, Chelsea 0. Anyway, moving on, 4:30, Liverpool up against Spurs. Now, Liverpool, what on earth has happened to them? Injury issues, poor results as well, random draws, not good there at all. Whereas Spurs came back well, you could say, in the North London derby in the second half. First half, they looked absolutely atrocious, but I think Liverpool are just going to bounce back, though. But I think those two victories are going to really knock the confidence there at Tottenham. So, yeah, let's go 2-1.
Yeah, both of these sides really are rutsy. Mentioned Liverpool, and that spat on the touchline as well between Klopp and Salah didn't look great, but apparently that's all done and dusted. We'll see how that plays out.
Klopp's going to be not there next season anyway.
In the coming weeks. This fixture last season ended up with goals galore. There's 7 goals in this one, in a 4-3 victory for Liverpool. I don't think there'll be that many goals, although both of these defences aren't that great. So I am going to go for a draw in this one. I think they'll cancel each other out. I think it'll be a bit of a tight affair, this one. So yeah, I'm going for 1-1. And the final match of this game week takes place on Monday, 8 o'clock on Sky in the UK. We've got Crystal Palace against Manchester United. Now, this is my upset of the weekend, if you can call it an upset. I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory to Crystal Palace over Manchester United. I think they're in pretty good form now. 3 wins in their last 4 matches. Mateta scoring. Eze's in good form. Aliso's pulling the strings in midfield. So Manchester United, iffy form. What is it now? 1 win in their last 6 matches. 4 draws in there, but they could carve out a draw. But I think Palace, Eagles, will come away with all 3 points.
Interesting. I'm going to be a bit more reserved and say a 1-1 draw. I think Oliver Glasner, the way that he has revitalised that Palace team, they're looking amazing and they're going to push up the table next season as well. But I do think, on the other hand, that the new reports coming out of the United camp, as much as I don't know whether they're going to believe it or not, that they want to just do a complete reset and sell everyone in the summer. I mean, it's probably worth them doing it just to stamp out all the egos and stuff, but that's not going to bring confidence at all. So let's go sit on the fence and go 1-1.
1-1. So that concludes our predictions for game week 36. Make sure you leave your predictions over at the Superbru website, like the likes of the Hewitt, of course, Douglas James Horn, ourselves. See if you can climb up that list. Now, Cardiff City at home. It's all done and dusted. The Championship on the weekend. All 12 fixtures kicking off at, 12:15. Do you think Ipswich Town will get the point to join Leicester in the Premier League, Nathan?
Well, put it this way, they're playing Huddersfield and they're pretty much dead and buried because the turnover that they have to do is just, it's impossible, let's be fair. So get Kiefer Moore to kill off the game. They're going to be the first team since, Southampton and Norwich to do a double promotion to the Premier League. So they're 100% doing it, and I predict the playoffs. For old Dirty Leeds United as well.
Yes.
Bottling another promotion.
Indeed. So there you have it, guys. Thanks for joining us once again. Remember your predictions, and we'll see you all in the next video.
6 shots, yeah, straight to the face, and I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way, so I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe, so I'm taking 6 shots all straight to the face. I'm taking